there. I mean, explain the vibe of Netherlands.
Netherlands is a place, I think, where you could go and experiment wildly with an idea, and you'd have an active audience to let you know what they think of it. That's kind of what we did. We went in and we, you look at our first year of playing shows, and the majority of them are, months that we weren't trying to go make money on the road. We're at the PI or at the Wolf Tongue or at all these places, and we could just go up there and experiment, and people would show up and give us feedback, And also, too, to know that you could come home and pack a bar was great after traveling, for a couple of weeks, not making anything, and playing very few shows to very few people. So
Netherlands is a small town. It's downtown is like 1,200 people or something like that, and it's pretty interesting array of people. There are some people who are kind of more the bolder crowd that the other people who live there would consider maybe encroaching.
Being gentrified.
Yeah. And I think the happy medium for that town would be for them both, each crowd to give a little bit, and because I think people who don't want it to grow, it makes it really hard for businesses to stay in business. And I think that not that I want a McDonald's up there or anything. I live in Boulder now anyway, so gotta put one up.
We
there.
also we had a lot of direct access to people who were helpful, like Vince Herman and some of the Leftover Salmon guys and the String Cheese Incident guys when they started moving to town. And there was Corky and Steve who used to run the PI and fed Dave and I for a year and a half. I never paid for a beer in that bar for 5 years, and then Steve died.
Yeah.
But it was that was a big helpful kind of thing too, and because it was a small town, word got around. People would make it a destination to come up and pick.
And I had no clue about I learned a lot of bluegrass from these guys. I liked bluegrass, but I didn't have a lot of money to buy CDs or anything, so I didn't really know. I didn't want to just go into a store and say, oh, what's this? I'll buy that. And so Jeff made me a couple mixtapes, and I used to play with Dave a lot, showing me fiddle tunes. And we'd go to these picks, and a lot of older crowd, folks, and everyone was so cool. There was never like an attitude from anybody saying, you don't know this song, you can't, that's a rock solo, that's not a bluegrass solo, or you know what I mean. And then and as we were there, it grew a lot. As I was going to these picks, they were small at first, and then by the time we were on the road too much to even attend these things, there'd be 30, 40 people.
We'd come